It's October 25, 1994. Union, South Carolina. A young mother named Susan Smith stands at a payphone, trembling. She tells the police a story that would make every parent's blood run cold. A carjacker, a stranger in a knit cap, had forced her out of her car at a red light and sped off into the darkness. With her two babies, 3-year-old Michael and 14-month-old Alexander, still strapped into their car seats. For 9 days, the world stopped. We watched Susan and her husband David beg for the safe return of their boys. We looked for the stranger in the knit cap in every alleyway in America. But while we were looking for a monster, the real monster was sitting in the makeup chair of national news stations, preparing her next lines. But before we dive into the 9 days of deception that fooled an entire nation, hit that subscribe button and join the Horror Holmes investigation unit. We're currently trying to reach 1,000 investigators to help shine a light on these cold cases, and your support is the only way we keep these stories alive. And today we are looking at the evidence left in the shadows, because the truth didn't vanish with a stranger. It was sitting at the bottom of John D. Long Lake the whole time. The search was unprecedented. The FBI, the SLED, and thousands of volunteers combed through South Carolina. But as a detective, you learn to look for cracks in the narrative. And Susan's story was full of them. First, there was the location. Why would a carjacker wait at a red light on a deserted road where no cars ever pass at that hour? Second, there was the stranger. Her description was vague, shifting, and lacked the detail a terrified mother would notice. But the biggest red flag, the interviews. Watch her closely. Notice the lack of real tears. Notice the way she looks at the camera, checking to see if her grief is landing. While her husband David was a hollowed-out shell of a man, Susan seemed occupied. She wasn't just grieving. She was managing a PR campaign. By day 9, the police had had enough. They brought Susan in for a polygraph. She failed. Twice. Under the hot lights of the interrogation room, the stranger began to dissolve. The detectives didn't shout. They didn't have to. They just presented her with the one thing she couldn't outrun: logic. "Susan," they asked, "where are the boys?" And then, the mask slipped. The tears finally became real, but they weren't for her children. They were for herself. She confessed. There was no man. There was no carjacking. She had driven her Mazda protege to the boat ramp at John D. Long Lake, put the car in neutral, and let it roll. The car took 6 minutes to sink. 6 minutes Michael and Alex spent in total darkness, underwater, suffocating and slowly dying. Why? That's the question that haunted the jury. The answer is more chilling than the crime itself. Susan had been having an affair with Tom Findley, the wealthy son of her boss. To Susan, Tom was her ticket to a better life. But Tom didn't want the life Susan had. He sent her a letter. "Like I told you before, there are some things about you that aren't suited for me. And yes, I mean your children." In Susan's mind, her children weren't sons. They were obstacles. She believed that if the obstacles were gone, Tom would marry her. She chose a man who didn't want her over the children who needed her. She didn't seek help. She didn't leave them at a church. She eliminated them like a line item on a budget. In 1995, Susan Smith was sentenced to life. But in South Carolina, life doesn't always mean forever. As of late 2024, Susan Smith became eligible for parole. After 30 years, she is asking for her freedom. She claims she is a changed woman, a victim of her own mind. But I want to ask you, the audience, you've seen the evidence. You've seen the 9-day performance. Do you believe a person who can watch their children sink into a lake and then lie to the world can ever be rehabilitated? I want you to vote in the comments right now. Type "keep her" if you think she should stay behind bars, or "release" if you believe in 30 years of forgiveness. I'll be reading the top comments and pin the most liked one. If you want more deep dives into the cases that the world tried to forget, hit that subscribe button and join the Horror Holmes investigation unit. I'm Horror Holmes. Stay vigilant. The truth is always deeper than it looks.